One of the most common questions that I see is, aren't I just as bad as the narcissist if I go no contact? Doesn't going no contact make me a narcissist? And I think this is a really important point that we need to discuss and that you need to understand before or if you are currently no contact. Because it can look very similar to narcissistic behavior, but when you understand why you're doing it, I think it helps break down how it is absolutely not narcissistic. And in fact, it's really the only sure way tool you have to combat narcissism. So that's what we're going to talk about today. My name is Amy, and this is Narcaway. My channel is devoted to encouraging, supporting, and educating victims and survivors of narcissistic abuse. So if you are thinking about leaving a narcissist, if you are thinking about going no contact, maybe you already have established no contact and now you're feeling guilt or heaviness, or you're being called the narcissistic one for giving the silent treatment, you need to understand why you are going no contact. You need to understand what no contact really is and what differentiates that from the silent treatment. So let's start with talking about the silent treatment. Narcissists are known for using the silent treatment as a tool and as a way to manipulate you. It's very easy to manipulate someone when you go dark or when you go quiet. They force you to go inwards because they're not giving you an explanation. They're not telling you what's wrong. They're not communicating with you. So you have to play a guessing game. And, the chances are you'll get way off course. You'll have no idea what's really going on. And nor should you be expected to. It's just a childish, immature way of dealing with something. And narcissists tend to deal in immature and childish ways. So it's no surprise that they turn to the silent treatment. But it's also very effective. The silent treatment is a very effective manipulation tool because nobody likes to be ignored. Nobody likes to feel unheard, and nobody likes to feel devalued. And you're going to feel all of those things when you're being shut out and shunned by the person you love, especially when you're trying to reach out to them, when you're attempting to contact them to open up a dialogue about what is wrong in your relationship, how you can repair it, to get them to open up to you. But for them, they take satisfaction in watching you scramble. When they know that you're in a state of confusion and that you don't have answers, that actually feeds them and that gives them great power. So the more you chase them, the bigger their ego is going to get and the more satisfied and potentially the longer the silent treatment will actually go on for. It'll go on for the length of time it takes for the narcissist to feel filled up in that moment. There is a limit where they're going to feel satisfied, they're going to feel happy, they're going to have extracted as much supply from you as they could in this time period where they're going to let you back in. But as soon as you repair the relationship or begin communication again, that cup, if you will, of their power will start to dwindle because your comfort level will start to rise. Your happiness will begin to show again because now you've got what you wanted, which is contact and communication with this person. So because they are feeling more powerless and seeing you feel more powerful, eventually they're going to pull back again and the cycle will begin again. And you'll end up back receiving the silent treatment from them and scrambling to get attention again. So you may have already experienced this. And if you've been with a narcissist who implements the silent treatment often, then chances are you have gone through this many, many times. In my relationship, this was definitely the man that I was with's tool of choice to manipulate and gain power over me. I hated being ignored, just like anybody. I don't think there's anything unusual or surprising that anyone would hate to feel ignored by somebody that you love, by your partner. And he really did get power from watching me scramble. And scramble I did. I did not know what narcissism was. I did not know he was a narcissist. I genuinely thought that I had done something wrong. So I went into panic mode to repair what I had done wrong. The problem was I never knew what I did wrong because, of course, he would never explain or offer me any indication of what was actually wrong and how I could fix it. And of course, that's because there was nothing that I had done. This was his internal power struggle and his way of sourcing power from me to get that cup filled up again. Does this make sense to you guys? It's a little bit confusing, and if you haven't actually gone through it, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. If you have gone through this, then I'm sure it makes absolute perfect sense to you. And this is why when you make the decision to go no contact with the narcissist, you're naturally going to ask the question, well, doesn't that just make me as bad as them? Am I not just playing a narcissistic manipulation on my partner by going no contact? And the answer to that is absolutely no. Absolutely not. You are not giving them the silent treatment. And that is the biggest difference. The silent treatment that a narcissist uses is done to manipulate you. It is done to garner more attention from you. They don't block you. And if they do, it's temporary. They block you to make a point, and then just as quickly they unblock you. They don't break up with you, or again, if they do, it's done in a temporary manner. They break up with you to get you upset, to get you worked up, to scare you, to threaten you, but there's no real finalization. There's no real breakup there. It's just a tactic to toy with you. So you try to be a better partner or a better person, or you cater to them, or you fawn over them, or you give them the attention that they need to fill that cup up. What you're doing when you go no contact is none of that. What you're doing is distancing yourself and building a wall between you and the narcissist. You're not using no contact as a manipulation to get something from them. And if you are, then that's just the silent treatment. That's not no contact, and then that does make you as bad as them. No contact is done for you. It is how you detox from the narcissist. It is how you stop them from being able to manipulate you. And it is the first steps of moving on from the narcissistic relationship and the narcissistic person. And the way no contact works is you are not allowing the narcissistic person to manipulate you anymore. No contact means you're not in contact with the narcissist. It means much more than that. It means you're blocking them. You are blocking every means of social media that you have. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, games, anything that they are on social media, You are blocking them. You are making yourself private. All those security and privacy settings, you are locking up. So if the narcissist tries to set up a new fake account, they can't get to you, or they can't see you from somebody else's account. You are not calling them. You are not checking your text messages for messages from them because you've blocked them. You've blocked their text phone number, so they can't call you and can't text you. So you're not going to be looking for their messages, being like, well, I haven't heard from them for 2 days, or I haven't contacted them for a week now. They should be trying to get in touch with me by now. That will happen. They will try to get in touch with you, but you can't be waiting for it and looking for it, because you're keeping that connection open by doing so. By blocking them, you know that even if they text you or call you, you're not going to get those messages. And now you can begin to detox. You can begin to get them out of your mind by not having to worry about them constantly creeping up on you. It is a process. It does take time, and you will go through withdrawals because you are trauma bonded to them. And this is an actual addiction, a chemical addiction that you have to this person. The hormones and the chemicals in your brain have gone so haywire from the abuse you have gone through that you will suffer withdrawals. And that is why it's so hard to leave a narcissist. That's why you're stuck in that loop with them. And that's why you have to go no contact. That is the only way to break that bond and break that connection to them. What you're doing, and this is the very important part to keep in mind. If this is the only thing you hear in this video, this is the one to make a note of. What you are doing is protection. It is self-protection from the narcissist. And that's what makes it different from the silent treatment, and that's what makes it a completely different ballgame. The silent treatment is used to manipulate and extract attention from somebody. No contact is protection against the bad guy. It is building a wall and closing yourself off from abuse. It is not done with any intent to affect the narcissist or whoever you are going no contact with at all. It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with you. Okay? So the silent treatment has to do with the other person. No contact has to do with you. Those are completely polar opposites, and that's why these two different things that look very similar are not the same thing at all. No contact does not make you a narcissist. It is a tool that you have to use, not just that you want to use, you have to use it to move on and to gain freedom from the narcissist. And the beautiful thing about it is it gets easier with time. It is very hard in the beginning. It is very difficult to go no contact in those beginning stages, to make that decision to build that wall. But once you do, and once you start feeling yourself balance out, because your hormones that I talked about earlier are not spiking and going haywire from constant push and pull from the narcissist, you literally, your brain levels out and you become more even keel, and that allows you to see clearer. It allows you to think clearer, and you can be more logical. Instead of dealing with everything from an emotional state, you can deal from a logical state, and that will help propel you forward to get away from the abuse and the abuser for once and for all. And it is necessary. Guys, I hope this video explains really clearly for you the difference between the silent treatment and no contact. I hope that you know that if you make the decision to go no contact with somebody who is abusive to you, that I support you 100%. Everybody around you who loves you supports you 100%, and nobody thinks you're a narcissist. Maybe the narcissist does, but we don't care what they think. Nobody thinks you're a bad person. They know that you are making the best decision for you, and that's what you need to do. You've given enough, you've taken enough, it's time for you. Guys, please like this video if you did. If you don't already subscribe, you can click subscribe now. And I hope I will see you guys again in my next video. As always, I love you all.